on now, so those live, those mics are live.
What do you mean live?
I thought that was us.
Should I get a headphone? No. Okay.
I don't even know how loud we're supposed to talk.
Yeah, it's just talk. It's all good. I got you.
So what are you doing?
I'll talk to you. I'll split with you. Don't worry. Don't worry.
Really? Okay. So what time is it? We're 1 o'clock. We're at CHFA on the Sunday afternoon. Our time slot for Phil and I and this Commerce Life to have chats. Probably a lot with ourselves, but we're able to drag a few guests in. We've dragged our first one in. Jordan Rogers is with us to see what Jordan's thinking about the show and his new life, new child in the house. Probably hasn't slept in a couple weeks. Not looking too much worse for wear. I mean, this is not video, so you can't really see him, but he looks pretty good still. Not as bad as I've seen him, so the kid's not killing him yet. Jordan?
Not killing me yet, guys, and I must say I'm a little nervous. This is the first time I've seen both of you guys in person, and
Together.
not too bad. You guys could, be on the news. You could have a syndicated show.
I don't know how to respond to that, Phil.
Yeah.
We like it, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure that's a real thing.
I'm not sure I'm even going to believe that.
Me, on the other hand, I think, the gray hairs are coming in full force, and the bags are underneath the eyes. But, Kenny, to your point, just had a baby boy, 10 weeks old. His name is Roman Rogers.
That's pretty
You
cool,
want
man.
a strong name for a young, strapping lad. So we're excited, and it's been beautifully exhausting. All the books, all the classes I read, they've been great. But the reality is you get that kid in your arm, and he tells you what to do.
Yeah.
That was the best piece of parenting advice I got, is your kid will tell you what he needs.
To an extent. When they're 3, you got to take back over.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. When you're 3, you got to take back over. But before then, you're right. But at 3, if you don't take back over, you're kind of jammed.
You're in trouble.
Yeah.
So the big debate now is, as an older dad, I'm 38, and my parents were 36. My mom was 36, and my dad was 38 when they had me. And I have vivid memories of going to a birthday party, 5 or 6 years old, outside, tons of kids around, and my dad comes down the stairs, and he has a full head of gray hair, and people were like, "Is that your grandpa?" So now I'm thinking, like, am I going to be that guy?
You know why I know? Because in today's world, very few are having kids. Like, we had kids at 30, right? And we were already considered old, like, to have kids, right? Because, my mom had me. I think my mom was 23. There's so many, late teens, early 20s. That was like my age. So that's 56 years ago. My kids' age, and even in our group, for the people like 5-6 years older than us, they were having kids in their late 20s. Our group is like right on 30. Next group seems to be 35 to 38, 39. Because I think this gets smarter too. What you're going to find out very quickly is you think they're expensive now because you're probably pissing and moaning. The diapers are expensive and maybe the milk's expensive if they're breastfeeding or augmenting. You have no freaking clue. Like, you have no clue what you're up for. Like, the expenses start going through the roof astronomically.
What are you doing?
I don't want him to sleep.
Hey,
Just hang tough. There's a plan for this. Let it go. He thinks it's going to be easy. Don't. Just have some fun with new parents. Jeez, everybody tells him positive. Give
I'm
him
already
some.
sending him out for job interviews. Is that too early?
Man, you're already figured it out. Shit,
Right?
see, that's why I feel it didn't work. You know what? Enjoy it, because it does. It goes super fast. Like, super fast. Like, you're already 2 months in, right?
Yeah.
Does it feel 2 months?
He's just...
You know what I mean? Like, it's just...
He's no longer a bag of rocks anymore, so his neck can start to
Right.
move. But no, every day it's just, 1% more, and you notice it. And it just adds up.
I'll tell you the truth. Like, everybody will say, their favorite time. Like, to be very honest with you, first off, every stage is awesome. And for its own set of reasons. And every stage brings its whole set of complications. To be honest, I'll pass it to Phil a second. Like, right now, I'm loving my kids' age right now. At 26 and 25, the best.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's just phenomenal. I love the kids around. They're friends. We travel together, like the whole different world. loving the kids right now.
And they're driving you around right now, right? That's another perk?
Not yet.
Okay.
And is it a free ride for me? Not yet.
Okay.
So no. So I haven't got the financial obligations buried onto them yet for the most part. But for the most part, not bad. But yeah, no, forget that part too.
Got it. Yeah. And he's 10 weeks. He was 10 weeks yesterday, so I made the decision along with Tara to take 7 weeks paternity, which was the best decision ever. And, some takeaways from that for me were Tara and I, over those 7 weeks, we were an awesome team. Awesome. Not much sleep, but an awesome team. It was a well-oiled machine. But from my perspective, I have a whole new appreciation for single parents, parents that don't have family support.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah.
Parents that have kids with disabilities, and people who have disabilities raising kids.
Yeah.
So, absolute heroes. And, my claim to fame over the 7 weeks is, similar to the Netflix show Tiger King, I am the diaper king. And I loved changing diapers. Loved it.
No, but it's all about that, right? It's all about dividing up the roles and getting it done. You really, you got to get there. But, to Kenny's point, every stage, they're amazing. You really, mine are behind his. So I got a 14, a 16, and a 20. But it just like that. You kind of remember those nights. You remember, my first was a terrible, terrible sleeper. Didn't sleep, didn't eat. It was awful, right? Awful. And we thought we were going to give him away, right? Because he was just grinding us down. And now he's 20. I did, last time I was out here, I took him out, flew by himself on his first flight by himself out of Ottawa. And then we did the island together. It was amazing, right? So you just enjoy the ride. Yeah.
Well, see, now the big debate is, do we have an Irish baby after this? When do you start thinking about the second one? Because I'm like, if you have one, it's great. You can travel, you can enjoy.
Yeah.
But who's he going to hang out with during the day?
Ours are 19. Probably can't hear me. Ours are 19 months apart.
19 months.
19 months apart.
Wow.
And that's honestly, it's a lot of work. And Phil can attest to it. They're a lot of work when they're close, but it does make a life a lot easier too, because they grow up as friends.
Yeah.
And it changes things, right? It's just, I mean, you can tell. Listen, first off, you can't plan anything.
Yeah.
It's not out of your hands. You have children when you have children.
Right.
You can plan all day and all night, and people have them, people don't. Whenever the time's going to come, that's when you're going to have kids.
Yeah. Hey, and I think having two helps them understand that they have to fight for those resources a little bit more.
I think it's
maybe
important.
That's a good thing.
I don't
Maybe
know.
it's not. I don't know.
I think it's important. So let me ask you something. Since we're at a show, and Aaron and his crew are going to be listening to this podcast and thinking, that's good. I invited guys to talk to the CHFA, and all they talked about is families and children.
Right, yes.
How are you finding now? Because now you're in a different boat. So in the past, if you were an employer, you had people, probably had families, and you think you understand parents with kids when you don't have them. And typically what you learn quickly is that you don't understand much of anything once you have your own kids. How are you finding the transition back? How are you are you getting enough sleep to function at work? How are you finding the, it's a change. How are you managing? Because you're back brand new. You got a new role, correct?
Absolutely. Yep.
So how's that changed anything? How are you finding this ride?
Yeah. So if I look back, I think I front-ended, fun and work in my earlier life. I think, I made some decisions in terms of selling the brokerage business, Lloyd James, to the Very Good Food Company, coming on as their intern sales team, developing that business, which has been a lot of fun. And now I find myself, in a different role. I can share that, we've had a lot of changes at our company. I think we have some great things going for us. We've done the heavy lifting in terms of production, product, people, brand, and we have an incredibly loyal following, but we also live in the public domain as a publicly listed company. And over the last 2 weeks, I was on an earnings call, which was interesting. We had some tough questions from shareholders, and are really looking to right-size our business right now, and take care of the people that are working for us. So what I've learned in the last 2 weeks pales in comparison to the last 5. So how do I manage that, work-life balance? I love what I do. I think it's about really good communication with Tara. So I'm a nut job that's up at 4, and I go to bed at 8:30, and I love my sleep. I can share that I've become more sober curious, which has been a big theme of this show, and really prioritize sleep and the value of sleep. So I'm in bed by 8:30. I love that 8 hours, and that's been kind of my secret weapon is sleep. I think the other important part, Kenny, you talked about it, is it goes so fast. That's what everyone says. So I've made, an effort to say, hey, I'll work from 7 until 6, but when I come home at 6 until 8, that's Roman time. That's baby time. He's in my arms, and everything kind of just disappears. And being really regimented in following that routine, that's something that I take very seriously.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. I mean, I think both of us have the same sort of things. Is like drawing lines early for where you can be a parent is huge, right? And like it actually helps with stress. The earning stuff is craziness, all of it. It's actually kind of humbling, right? Because you realize like I have all these skills, like I know what I'm doing, but like a shareholder is a shareholder. Like sometimes they know what they're asking, and then sometimes respectfully they don't, right? But they want what they want, and it's like yeah.
Ultimately, though, as a publicly listed company, it's our responsibility to be the custodians of the shareholders' investment, and we have a great institutional and retail base. I think, obviously plant-based has been very hot recently, so there's been a lot of money coming into this space over the last 2 years. GameStop.
Yeah.
I think we can do a better job of working and educating our investors in terms of the grocery space is a long-term play.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen overnight just because you have a meeting with Whole Foods or Loblaws or any of these guys. It can take a year before you get on the shelf.
Yeah.
And the cost associated with that. So, we really want to get out in front of our investors and be there. We see you, we hear you, and address any concerns that they may have and share where we're going moving forward, which is really cool.
Question about the show. Any surprises at the show? Like booths that have surprised you, products? Any trends that you kind of didn't see coming, or things that, like, one of the ones that surprised me was how many ready-to-serve drinks there were. I thought we were kind of past that point, actually, right? Because the market's pretty saturated to begin with.
Yeah.
But I was surprised at how many.
Yeah, in terms of trends, to be truthful, I haven't spent much time trend hunting as I used to, because I had a big passion. It's been more having engaging conversations about some challenges that folks have and sharing our direction as a company. So that's been great. But the trends that I have seen, I think the companies that do a really good job in their communications and keeping it simple for consumers are going to be the ones coming on top and out front. So yeah, my biggest one right now, just because I'm at this stage of my life, is a sober curious, and there's some great stuff out there for sure.
Right. What are your retailers saying though right now? I mean, I'm sure you're talking obviously your product specifically. You're talking about plant-based as a category specifically, but are they? I mean, because it's a topic that everybody seemed to be talking with me. Supply chain, inflation, price increases, pack sizes. Like, it just seems to be so much shit hitting us at one time. We just came out of 2 years of this mess. We're all back together, and it seems like there's like a whole new set of challenges. I mean, we're all not insurmountable. We'll get through them like we always do. But what are you hearing? Like, what are you capturing out of that?
I think if you look at where plant-based is going, I frankly don't see it going anywhere. The three main pillars, it's good for you, it's good for the planet, it's good for the environment. That's not going to go anywhere.
No.
My eyes were really opened this Earth Day 2 days ago when Google had images on their search screen. I don't know if you guys saw that.
I did it.
And it was of all the icebergs. And just the change from 5, 10, 15, 20 years. So I'm excited to see where plant-based goes, but at the same time, with many competitors, comes a lot of different products that might not be meeting the customer's taste experience. And you have to bear in mind with plant-based, you only have one shot at the flexitarians. So if you don't deliver on the taste right away, you've lost that person.
Right.
And I think, speaking for our company, we've done a great job doing that using authentic ingredients. So that's been really fun. But really, in terms of the retailers, it's about having the open, frank conversations around understanding their challenges and us sharing our challenges with them. And I think the retailer code of conduct is much needed, and we're in big support of that. So those are some areas that we're engaged in.
Cool. That's it, buddy. You said you only had 5 minutes. You gave me 15.
There you go. It was fun. I look forward to our next chat.
So people know I had to drag him here. Like, he really didn't want to come and sit with me, so I'm not.
Oh, it was fun.
I'm not too sure what that was about.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah. Whenever you.
Whenever you feel like. Oh.
Yeah.
Whenever you feel like it, my friend. Whenever you feel like it.
Is there anyone else I can drag over here? In my
Whoever you want.
Whoever you want. We're going to sit and talk to
riff a bit
ourselves
and
otherwise.
then-
It's not a big
yeah.
deal, but we'll definitely
Yeah.
talk to people. You know us. We talk all the time.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you very much.
Have a
Thank
show,
you,
buddy.
sir.
Nice seeing you.
All right. See ya. Cool.
Very cool. I'm curious. I was more curious to even see, like, because, nobody knows because we can't see us, and this is going to be late recorded. But, the amount of conversations in the last 2 days with respect to, like, how are things out there? How is this all playing out? And honestly, I mean, if people are tired of hearing about supply chain because they watch the news talks nothing about supply chain. You want to be tired of hearing about supply chain, be at a show like this, because supply chain is prevalent.
Well,
everybody's talking about
listen,
it.
Ken and I met a guy that we don't really remember. We actually met him for 5 minutes, and he was telling us about funky stories. Like he just changed a warehouse provider in California, and then he said, as warehouse people are leaving the warehouse, people are standing out the
other warehouse people are trying to
standing outside
their
their
warehouse
door,
people.
handing out cards, going, listen, whatever you guys make here, we'll give you another $5 or whatever it is, like to go and work for them, right? So it's craziness. Like, he actually didn't know us, right? And he came up and said, hey, if you know any warehouse, marketing, logistics people, here's my card. Like, call me because we're dying. Right, like, so it's a thing. It's a big deal.
It's a challenge. And I've heard that a lot. I've heard inflation is a challenge, obviously. So price increases, or even trying to get price increases through. Yeah. Because there is resistance. Obviously, retailers. I mean, I was a retailer, so were you.
Yeah.
None of us want to take price increases. We get that. I mean.
Yeah.
Who wants to? Because ultimately you had to pass it on. Then your customers would get pissed with the price on and pass it on. But it's to the point where what else do you do with this now?
Yeah.
I mean. I don't think the manufacturer supply chain can absorb the cost anymore.
No.
So it's going to have to get past the consumers.
Yeah.
I don't think consumers are as ready as probably the media has done in helping it. Definitely not retailers, because I think a lot of the talk from retailers when you watch them on television or public is we're going to hold those prices. Well,
but
I'm not sure what world they're living in, because I don't see that happening.
Yeah.
Right? What I was really happy about, even just walking a little bit today that you and I had a chance to, is there's still a ton of innovation in the show. At the show, pardon me. There's a lot of people at this show. Yeah, and I don't think Aaron would hide it. I know they're down in population in terms of retailers and probably little suppliers, but I've never had the length of or in-depth conversations with vendors and or suppliers, retailers at a show in years. This is a really nice size, as I guess I'm getting. I mean, I want it to be bigger too, and I wish it was 10,000 booths. Yeah. But at the same time, I actually kind of like this because, man, we got a chance to talk to a ton of people.
It's been really fun.
And not just the usual, hey, how are you? How are the kids? Whatever. And you're.
But listen, I think the other thing, so I was telling Kenny yesterday that after I left the show, I was here till about 4. I'd been here all day. I had to go out. And we're in Vancouver, so I had to go sit and watch. I put headphones in and I watch airplanes because it's like sensory overload. Right? We went from like 2 years by ourselves to like this, right? So I actually don't mind that it's slightly smaller.
I kind of like it because I'm exhausted already.
Yeah.
And I think, most people who know me, I mean,
Yeah.
and you, I mean, I think we feed off.
Yeah.
We're pretty extroverted, I think, for the most part.
Yeah.
I feed off energy. I feed off people. But
Yeah.
I got home last night, and I only did a
Yeah.
half day.
Yeah.
Because I left at 3 to take the
Yeah,
folks
yeah,
out.
yeah.
That was their Christmas present. But,
Yeah.
I'm thinking, I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
I haven't hugged that much
Yeah,
in 2 years.
Yeah.
I haven't talked that much in 2 years,
Yeah.
believe it or not.
It's crazy.
Like, it was like, it's an intense
Yeah.
couple days, but it's been really, really good. I love the format.
What are you seeing? What are you seeing? Tell me what you've seen so far that
You know what's funny? It's
you
the same
like,
thing,
you
the
don't
same
like.
thing that you saw.
Yeah.
It's not that I don't like it.
Yeah.
I'm just, even from where we're sitting, I'm kind of looking around. I noticed a lot of RTD, like a lot of ready to drink.
Yeah.
Like I see a lot of Tetra, a lot of cans, a lot of fizzy. But I mean, I'm going to bullshit the proportions, obviously. But if there's 700 booths here, it feels like 50, maybe 70 are sort of all in that space. And I found that fascinating. I see some of the old guys that are still here, been around for years. But I have been pleasantly surprised where I've seen some innovation. I mean, not, set the world on fire, but cool products and neat stuff.
Yeah.
Lots of chips, lots of snacks.
Yeah.
Thank Christ.
Yeah.
I love snacks.
The snacks are good.
Oh,
I think snacks coming are going to be amazing.
And I think if you want to
You
get
know,
people
the
into these
alternatives,
categories,
the healthy categories.
if you want to get people into healthy categories, if you can bag
Yeah.
them on snacks,
Yeah.
they're I think they're good to go.
Yeah.
I think they'll.
I think the other one that's really neat for me is the nut. All the nut stuff is taking a slightly different turn, because it used to be like everything you got was like it was almost nut based. So it was like pure almond, pure
Almond
cashew,
butter, almond
pure
juice, almond drink.
Yeah. But
cashew.
now they're starting to mix them all. They're starting to like flavor profile.
What was that blue one I had? What were those people called? They
We're
were
terrible
local.
people. I don't remember.
Local company, but they had it. It was,
Yeah.
Was it a cashew almond?
Yeah.
Something
Yeah,
else.
and it had other stuff in it.
Oh my
It was-
God, that was probably.
yeah.
I mean, because we drink a lot of almond milk. at
I'll
home.
find them and
Oh
I will
my
tag
Lord.
them because
Tag 'em oh my God.
yeah, I'll
Like,
tag them in this
so
episode
good.
because it was really
So
good.
good. I wish I remembered this.
That's actually something we should do. So we'll at the end of this episode, Kenny and I will make a list of our kind of like favorite tastes from the show, because that was one
That
thing
one
about this
I
show
really
too,
liked.
because you got to eat a lot of stuff
Yeah,
here. Like
yeah,
there was just a
totally,
lot of like the one that I've been raving about is the Notco.
Well, you haven't shut up on that
NOTCO.
one.
I
Well,
will
you never
not
brought
shut
me the
up
milk
about
either,
it.
by the way.
Yeah. The
Just so
chocolate
we all
milk
know,
has been
Phil promised me
unbelievable.
chocolate milk and never brought
did.
it. Just
I
not
did,
that
I
anybody
did, I
cares,
did.
but
I
it bothered
did.
me.
Yeah.
But
But
I will go back and do that one
yeah.
too. Maybe that's what we should do. Maybe take a couple pics and a couple show
Yeah,
notes.
I think the next set, like all under the show notes, we'll list the companies that we thought were really cool flavors.
Definitely that
Yeah.
one that
Yeah.
neither of us can remember. Oh my
Yeah.
God, that
Yeah.
was so
Yeah.
tasty.
Yeah.
Like so tasty, creamy and like
Yeah.
rich and
Yeah.
oh my Lord, that was.
And then it was super cool
lovely.
to meet all the people that we podcasted with. Like we just,
most of these people
you know,
we've never met before. We saw
Yeah.
Sasha for the first time.
Yeah.
know.
And then we met the Routleys. Oh, you haven't met the Routleys
I haven't
yet.
seen them. No, I've got to go see
I met
them.
Will and Shoshana, and then we
Jake
met
Bouncy Bouncy, you know?
Jake Bouncy. We posted that picture. Linda, we took a
you've
picture
never
with
met
her.
the boss
I've never
before.
met the boss before.
Yeah.
She had to pull me aside.
Yeah,
Almost got fired there, I think, because I
think
didn't
so.
recognize
That's
her.
all good.
so
She's retiring, so
I
maybe
know
a little less pressure.
I know,
Or
right?
maybe actually more
and then
pressure.
Satya.
Oh, Patrice.
Patrice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've met Patrice before, haven't
Never.
you? Oh, I keep forgetting.
Never.
Because we haven't.
Yeah, and then Made with
Yeah.
Local is here. So we got to meet Made with Local.
I met Jiren finally.
Yeah,
who
we
still
met
hasn't booked the show.
Jiren,
which
Who
she
hasn't booked
needs
the
to.
show yet? Yeah. So some
No.
pretty cool, and then I think we've landed some really cool guests, like really.
Oh my
cool
God, you
guests.
guys! Like honestly, we got
we
a
get some of
lineup
these guys.
coming.
They're just so exciting.
There's so many cool
Yeah.
ones, and then we're gonna have to
Yeah.
thank Aaron and his crew again
Yeah.
because allowing us to come in and do this. Like we've met. Oh my
Yeah.
God! There's got to be at least 15 to 20 podcasts
Yeah,
like
easily.
lined up.
Easily.
Easy.
Yeah.
Some
Yeah,
really
yeah.
cool stuff coming. So
Yeah.
I'm pretty stoked on it. But it's good. Looks like the activity's still pretty good in here, right?
Yeah,
There's people walking
we're-
around.
So
people
it's like
talking.
1:30. So normally like the last day of a trade show, right?
dies
You're
down.
kind of like, people are starting to trade product.
Yeah.
People are starting to think about packing it up, but it's actually quite full still, and there are a lot of people walking around. It's kind of cool. It's kind of cool to see.
It's what's good. It's to me again. It's just showing that
Yeah.
the health food industry is healthy.
Yeah.
Like there's stuff coming
Yeah.
around, right? There's people.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
people out and about and doing their thing. Oh,
Yeah.
Martino's coming,
Martino's coming.
which is always good for a sit down. Are you sitting
Martino?
down?
You coming to say hello? Hey, buddy.
Maybe brought
What's
water
going on?
here. Here, we'll pass you a mic. So we've got Martino Ciambrelli with us. He's going to sit down for a minute. Gave us some free water, which we're going to dive into right now as we're talking because I am thirsty as thirsty can be. Phil, would you like one?
It is hot in here.
Okay, Martino, since you may as well get a 2-second plug to let them know who you are. And here's your chance to plug a product for 2 seconds because Phil and I don't usually do this, but we are so happy you brought us liquid.
There you go. Well, thanks, Kenny. You know what? Trace Water Business has been around for 9 years, and we took that long to figure out what we're doing wrong. And we really feel that we've done the right thing in the last time over COVID to figure out what we did right and wrong in the last 8 years prior. The new packaging talks about alkalinity,
I like it.
and the Alkaline 77 gives us a chance to bring numbers to the water section. So something the big guys can't tackle us on. And we're going to come out with an 85 on our black one, so it'll be Trace
Oh, cool.
85. So trying to just do something different to let people know that if you drink our water, you're going to have some alkalinity. That's 7.7.
I like it. That's pretty cool.
And it's clean and it's BC. I love that part. We're
Oh,
local.
I like the local aspect too. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Even if local means Canadian these days, I'm just happy. I mean, because Phil's Mississauga, so who cares?
Yeah, that's
But
okay.
you and I are BC, so I mean, you're kind of like a BC. You're really Mississauga, but that's all good.
It's okay.
But I like the fact that it's local. I like the fact that it's Canadian made. We just had Jordan with us. Jordan Rogers sat down with us prior to you coming, and we were talking about the same sort of thing. So I want to get your take on it too. Is what are you finding? Like, what are you finding? How you find? What's the mood of the show? How are you finding the retailers, your fellow suppliers, vendors? Like, what are you hearing? What's the?
It's funny. I think the word I would use for it is rebirth. I mean, everybody seems to be saying, "Oh my God, it's been so long," or "Oh, I haven't seen you." It's been lots of hugs and kisses, and even though it's the end of COVID, it's so nice that people are feeling comfortable to be able to hug and kiss you.
Yeah.
And I think being Italian, that's part of our culture, and so having that back for me has been really great. And the support. I think people said, "Wow, you survived it. You're not bankrupt. You're actually still here. Let me help you now." And everybody wants to help each other, and it's a different atmosphere. I love the fact that there's not a bunch of looky-loos that are just filling up their bags,
Yes. Yes.
I think it's really great. People are asking
Yeah.
good questions, and I think it's surprising to me because my daughter talks about it a lot more than I do because I'm old. But they talk about the carb factor, they talk about the transportation costs, and
Yeah.
they're really aware of it. She's 26, and they're so aware of this, and we're not. So it's really interesting that people are asking, like, is it local? That's local, and one guy.
Carbon footprint.
Exactly. I had one guy said to me, Martino, I'm buying Italian water. It's $15 a case just for the transportation. I go, holy cow! I think I
how
sell
do
my
you-
balls for
like,
$1.20. So there you
that's
go.
hilarious.
It's fun, but no, the people get Unify, which is where our booth is at. I'm first time really working with them, and really good energy there. The people
Yeah.
are nice, and they're really good service.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And do you find it, so the retailers have been pretty receptive. Are they willing to try to step up as much? I mean, some of the bigger ones are always the challenge.
Yeah.
We know that. But I've noticed that a lot of the independents are excited to be here.
Yeah, I agree
To
with
your
you.
point, like just
Yeah.
back to hugging. Hello.
And there's
My
there's
God,
no
I've seen
hiding.
you.
Like, so normally buyers at these shows, right? They try and hide. Like, I think UNFI or I think CHFA has done a good job of keeping you from hiding your badge a lot,
double-sided.
right?
Yep.
Double-sided, but I also think that these, like, they're happy to step out in the open right now.
No, I agree.
Hopefully
with you. I
that
think so.
continues, right?
Yeah, I think it's really good. I think one of the things I noticed for sure is that, like, for example, give compliments to Loblaws. I can't believe how many people are here from Loblaws. We bumped into a lot that came by the booth, and that's really not really what they do. They don't really show up at shows, Loblaws. So I was really quite shocked by that. We had a few
Give
people-
credit to Aaron and his crew for that one too, though. I think they've done a really good job. Not to plug Aaron and his crew. I mean, it's a CHFA event, we get it. But at the end of the day, like, give credit where it's due, is that they've really gone out to try to get. Listen, if 15% of the population shops in natural health, 85% shops in traditional, right? The natural health channel is awesome because these people give it a try. They'll take a chance on you. Where the big guys can go either way. But you need the big guys in too. And they need to play with all the little guys, like like my little company. Like they need to help us out, not always jam us and try to, I'm not saying badly, but screw us. I mean, play with us.
I think, right, Kenny, the world's changing. We're getting older in our ages because both of us have been in business for a long time.
Yeah.
And the young kids are different than us. And the young shopper that's 35 years old is looking for something, and they don't want to buy Campbell's soup chicken noodle. They'll buy that if they have to, but they're looking for something different. What's got a little bit of a different take on the soup, and they want to give their kids something more nutritious, and they're really conscious of where it comes from. And
well, back to your packaging issue. That's in a can, that's in glass. Do you know how much that costs to ship? Do you know what it does for the environment? Do you know how much oil? Do you know how much? And you're thinking, shit, man, no, I don't know any of that. No, because we didn't worry about that. And then you start to worry about that. You look at all the flexible packaging. You look at all the cool ways of displaying things. Like it's good, man. Like it's
changed a lot from when our grandpas used to go to the store and say, guess what I found for $4 for $5 today. It's great. Well, I really appreciate what you guys are doing, educating us, educating the industry, and we got to keep doing this stuff. We have to share information on both sides of the table because we're all going after the same thing, the same consumer.
I heard I'm coming back onto the podcast. That's just what I heard.
Okay.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, absolutely.
I just heard that.
Sure, anytime, guys. I'd love it anytime.
He's like, crap.
Okay, absolutely, I will. Okay.
Yeah. Story about where this all started.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's do that. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Awesome.
thanks for having me today, and enjoy the water. Keep yourself alkaline in this heat, and
thank you.
God bless y'all.
Thank you.
Thanks, Martino. Thanks. Now I got to carry the water.
No.
Oh, Mamma mia.
Okay.
Ciao.
Thank you. He's cool.
That's
I like him.
Martino's Martino. Martino's like a bundle of energy. A bundle of energy. But again, what's nice to hear is sort of the same theme that I think it's hard because it's been 2 years that we've done this. The sense of community is just really, really nice.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And again, if people don't participate in this particular channel, it's a shame. If you're in CPG, grocery, health products, whether it's HABA, ingestibles, I don't care what it is.
Yeah.
If you don't have focus on the natural health channel, you're missing out on really good people, people that can actually do things to help out, get your things going. I think this is awesome. And I'm glad that Aaron's actually and his team are really trying to push out and bust out.
I think it's fantastic.
I think it's awesome.
I think
long overdue.
With what Martino said there too, I thought what's cool is you do hear that a lot. You hear people going, hey, like, who do you use as a broker? Who do you use, whatever? And then, like, in the old days, you kind of like, kind of sort of. Here, they're all open. I use these guys. I like these guys.
Yeah, I use these guys for this. I use those guys
card,
for this.
Right? Like, I've actually seen people giving out cards, and, so... there's a genuine...
But you see floating, too.
Yeah.
You see competitors talking to each other, whether it's on the retail front.
Yeah.
You see vendor competitors.
Yeah.
You see distributors knowing each other.
Lines are open, right? Yeah, it's a big deal.
You see that, one person might have 4 of the distributors here or 2 of the distributors here.
Yeah.
And I use them for this, and I use these ones for that. And this broker does this part of the country. That broker does that part of the country. I think it's pretty cool, right?
Yeah, it is. It really is.
You start getting relationships that are spread out over not just the same 3 or 4, folks.
Yeah.
I think it's great. I really do.
It's really cool. It's oh my gosh, this show.
No, it's great. I do. I think Aaron and his team have really they've really done a cool thing. It's busier than I thought it was going to be, and I'm really liking the conversations we've had with people. Just even still watching people in front of us, like there's still
people wandering
but it's talking,
everywhere.
like everybody's just yakking with each other, and everybody's standing there just looking at products and touching products, and
I liked. I think that the other thing that is kind of cool to see is how some of these broker teams. I think I'm using the wrong word, but either brokers or distributors and how they've organized their aisles as well. It certainly helped as well. You look at Propel. So we tagged Patrick in a.
Well, we had to because seriously, if we didn't
tag
him,
some hand clapping and hugging because all that stuff comes through. But So yesterday, Patrick Higgins gave us a hard time because we had put up a post and he wasn't in it, and anyway, we did put up a post. He was going to be in it anyway, and he was in the post. But I just thought that all those guys, right? Like whether it's Higgins and Propel or. Purity Life or like their aisles and how they've organized their brands has been a really good.
So you've been to CHFA before? Or is this the
Yes.
first? So you've
Yeah,
been
yeah.
before.
I've been to East. I've never been to West.
So, but most of your shows, like your world, has always been more traditional
Yeah.
drug and stuff.
Yeah, correct.
See, the beauty of this is why I love hearing it from you, because you're still, newbie's a bad choice of words, but a newbie. This
Did you
is
just
how
call
it's
me
done.
green?
Green-ish.
Kenny
Ish.
just called me green.
No,
on air.
green-ish.
Okay.
And I actually
all
said
right,
newbie.
all right.
Ish. Not even
Yeah,
green.
Yeah, okay.
But
All
if you
right,
do,
all right.
if you notice, like that is prevalent here, where they do kind of go into
They organize themselves.
they organize
by-
themselves that way, and it does.
Yeah.
It keeps the flow, and it keeps you. So you do know. So if you're a brand that's coming here, let's say you're an independent still, you're not too sure if you
Yeah.
want to be with Marsham, who's in front of us right now, or you want to be with Indigo, who's down
Yeah,
on the
yeah,
other
yeah.
side, or whoever it
Yeah.
is. Like you get a chance to walk through the aisles, and you see the brands that you might say, okay, you know what, I actually fit in really well
with
with
these
this
guys.
group
Yeah.
of distributor, or you know what, I really like who that,
like that.
broker or agent
But I
team
like
is.
that, though.
I think
Yeah.
it's fantastic.
Yeah.
How else do you know
Yeah,
who to
yeah,
go
yeah,
with?
yeah.
If you're brand
Yeah.
new to this, well, who are you talking to?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just booths.
Well, and I think the other thing is, like, because there are some indie aisles here where they're not with anybody, and so you do kind of start to look at it and go, okay, wait, I'm stuck in the indie aisle, but if I walk down Propel's got a lot more people in it. Like, is that something I got to think about, right? Like, this is a show where you get to
totally.
do some of that evaluation.
And
right?
a lot of so what happened to, so people understand how the show is sold is, if you're part of a distributor or a brokerage, usually the broker's distributor buys the aisle, right? I don't know if they get discounts or not, but they buy the aisle, and then you buy into their world, right? Like we did with
Yeah.
my tea, we bought
Yeah.
into Ken
Yeah.
Kwong's world of Rhino
Yeah.
Sales. We've done that's
Yeah.
where we are,
Yeah.
you know, and they give you a space and they sort of take
Yeah.
care of you, and it's actually quite nice because you do feel part of the family.
Yeah.
And then you get to play within that. There's others that will book outside of the space, and a lot of them do that just because they do. What they fear is that there's so much confusion in like Purity or Horizon or Propel. Not to
Yeah,
pick on
yeah,
those
yeah.
ones because they do
Yeah,
wonderful
yeah.
jobs, but
Yeah.
is they stand out and then push the people into those to show. Say, you know, who are you distributing with? I'm distributing with Purity Life.
Yeah.
I'm distributing with Horizon. Then they go back and say, okay, wow, yeah, this fits for me. Look at the brands that Purity, look at brands Horizon
Yeah,
or
yeah.
Indigo, whomever it is. I don't care
Got
who
it.
it is.
Got
But
it.
I think that's why
Yeah.
it goes both ways. So
Yeah.
to me, I think to your point, I think there's great advantage being with the larger. And then sometimes it's actually okay to be outside and push them.
Yeah.
So that you're not, you want to be where the noise is,
Yeah.
but you don't want to get lost. Like if you're beside Jake
Yeah.
and his team,
Well, then
Mamma
you can
mia.
party the whole time.
It's
But it's
craziness.
oh boy.
It's
Yeah.
craziness.
Yeah.
I mean, I love them.
Yeah.
Seriously,
Yeah.
it's craziness.
Yeah.
So
It's true.
It's different, right?
It's also interesting. Like, so if you're a brand and you're thinking about CHFA, it's probably also, as particularly for the like young brands who are just getting into
Yeah.
this gig, it's also like if you're wondering whether you should come walk a show, this might be a reason that you come walk a show, because now you get to see, because as you grow, you're going to get these guys who will show up at your door and go, listen, I can help rep you. But coming into the show and seeing how they're organized will help you understand like who might be a good fit for you.
Right.
Like,
Right.
Yeah.
Right, and it's hard
Yeah.
because I mean, I don't want you and I don't want people listening to this to think that we were asked to come here by
No,
CHFA,
none of those
and I have
things.
no issue plugging or not plugging.
Yeah.
I can definitely, because I've been in the industry long enough, I can definitely have no issues plugging the organization and telling small brands, you know what, you should join. And the reason you should join is you become well connected. You will see the resource available. You'll get to know people. This industry, more so than the one you and I came
Are you being
from,
sensitive because you've now thanked Aaron and the team a couple of times?
well, I don't think.
Listen, but okay, so I'll take it one step further. So I'm a data guy, and you know, one of the things that I think is really amazing is Aaron and his team did some work around Canadian consumers and insights.
It was awesome.
And I think that's
It was
like,
awesome.
you know, for an industry association, it'd be easy for them to rest on, hey, like you should come here because everybody's here, right? Like
what does that
that's
mean?
that's quite enough But it's a lot, right?
It's
You
enough.
could- you
It's
could hang
enough,
out
but
like
it's
that. Yeah.
as
Yeah.
old and cynical. With now you're back to
Yeah,
talking about
yeah,
me.
yeah,
As you get older and cynical, I'm thinking, okay, what do I need that for? Well, what do I get out of that?
Yeah. Well, no, but there's
Right?
value in it, right? As I meet
To
people,
some degree, but
people help me, right? But now you've got
Whole
this
new level.
associate and they're starting to do insights,
exactly.
and like things that you can never do on your own. Right?
Exactly.
So, yeah.
And I think
I
again,
think that's a big deal.
I think it's a huge
Yeah.
deal.
Yeah.
Huge deal. And I
Yeah.
do think because, there has been some leadership changes over the last couple of years. It's a little younger looking.
Yeah.
They're starting to bust out. Like we talked with Martino,
Yeah.
they're bringing in or trying to
Yeah.
get the Loblaws and the Sobeys
Yeah.
and the Metros
Yeah.
and all the bigger guys to come
Yeah.
in and still being sensitive to not hurt the little
yeah,
guys.
yeah.
And even like the talk the other day when Ryan and Aaron were talking is even with the
Yeah.
little guys, I mean, know your place.
Yeah.
Like, do your thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
The big guys
it's
are
true.
here, man. They're 85% of the business. I mean,
Yeah.
That hasn't changed in years. That's
Yeah.
not going to change. Do your thing.
Yeah.
Do your thing.
It's amazing.
No, it's looking good, buddy. I mean, I'm really,
This is
I'm
really
surprised.
exciting.
I really enjoyed this. I
Yeah.
really enjoyed the whole show.
Yeah.
Really enjoyed it.
I get so we've been posting kind of all weekend. So and then I think this will come out tomorrow. So
I
it'll
think you
come
should
out
do this one
pretty
sooner
fresh.
than not. Yeah.
Yeah, and then if you're listening to this and you have any questions about like what other experiences we saw at CHFA, reach out to us. Hopefully we'll start rounding up some of these brands
Over the next
and
3 to
getting
4
them
months,
in.
probably before we
Oh
go
my
to
gosh.
Toronto
We got
for
so
CHFA
many.
East.
Yeah.
There's so many brands coming on.
There's a cool set of firefighters, right?
Yeah.
Let's leave you a couple of tidbits, right? Like,
I love that one.
firefighters and coffee.
Yeah, because they
Right?
were guys who were out fighting fires and
Yeah.
roasted coffee
Yeah.
on the fires, and
Yeah.
they've taken that whole concept and feel into retail-ready bags. Super cool.
We met a lady who does like beeswax wraps.
Oh, I love that stuff, man.
And her mom does the design covers for all these.
And it's so
amazing.
homey feeling. Like you
Yeah.
can leave that stuff on the counter,
yeah.
and it looks
It's
good.
so
Oh,
super
really,
pretty.
really neat. I really like that
Um,
one.
The Notco guys, which I can't
Yeah.
stop talking about.
Ice cream.
The ice cream people. The blue drink lady.
I forget what the hell that.
remember
I'm so bad. I'm
her
so
name
sorry for
of.
them. I really apologize. There's been so much. It's sensory overload, right?
It is, yeah.
And then a bunch of old
It
friends that
is.
we just
Yeah,
haven't.
yeah.
Hard Bite. We're gonna have
There's
on.
some, hard bite, and then honest potato.
Yeah. Which one?
Oh my gosh.
You're stretching. I see. This is like age.
It's
Phil's
another.
almost 50.
It's
This
another.
is a problem.
It's
This is what
another
happened.
chip company. Tall guy.
Hard Bite.
No. One of the brothers.
Oh, Neil Brothers.
Neil Brothers. We met the
Right,
Neil Brothers.
That's just kind of cool too because. Again,
Cool story.
Cool
again.
stories too, because a lot of
Yeah.
these guys have also gone through some transitions.
Yeah.
Where they've either lost brands, gained brands,
Yeah. Ooh,
pivoting.
and we met 3 farmers.
Yeah.
Actually, 3 farmers.
Three farmers. That was pretty cool too.
was
That's when
pretty
you guys
cool.
lost me for a bit.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, because I got a little distracted.
Yeah, 3 farmers, and then we met a bunch of industry smarties. Oh, and we met a regulatory guy this morning. We had a funny story. We got to the show, and a slightly overeager security / conference person
Yeah.
wouldn't let us in because Kenny and I are both wearing media badges. Which if you don't know, Kenny freaking loves.
I love it,
the
man. I'm
media
media.
badge. Yeah,
I've never been media in my life. This is
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
I'm media.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell that means.
Yeah. So anyway,
I know it doesn't get me
while
to the
we
show
were
early.
standing outside and we were griping about why we couldn't get in early, we actually met a guy who does regulatory.
Yeah.
And he does regulatory particularly with Asian products that want to cross over into
Right.
Canada. So we're going to try and get him on the show because we think he'd be
I think he'd be awesome.
Yeah, I think he'd be a really big
There's
deal.
so much opportunity there too.
Yeah.
But he was also
Yeah.
like for the Canadian brands listening.
Yeah.
He was also talking about going the
about
reverse.
how to go the other way.
Because I think
to Asia.
Alibaba was here yesterday,
yeah.
and I think Alibaba's
Yeah,
trying
yeah.
to figure out how to talk probably to North Americans differently so they understand. Really, probably more mainland, I would assume. Asia in general, but
Yeah.
mainland in particular, how to manage those markets and
Yeah.
how to play in that game. So
Yeah.
that would be really cool too.
Yeah.
Yeah, lots of cool stuff
That's really
coming, man.
cool.
There's, it's
Yeah.
yeah, it's been good, man. It's been
We're watching some buyers walk by us.
yeah, it's Richard from Whole Foods.
Yeah. So cool.
And again, see, hugs and kisses. That's what the
Yeah,
whole show's been.
it's so
Everybody
amazing.
misses people.
I'm smiling.
I
love it.
Oh
But
my
I'm gonna
God.
need a nap on the plane.
Yeah,
I'm going home tonight.
Yeah,
and I'm gonna need a nap.
I'm not used to this anymore.
Yeah,
I'm really
it's a
not
lot.
used to this
It's a
anymore.
lot.
But I really that's so nice to see.
Yeah.
That's so
Yeah.
nice to see.
Okay, so we're gonna end it here. Thanks for listening to us. We're gonna have fingers crossed that the audio turns out okay.
Yeah, I don't know how good
There's
it's gonna
kind
be or
of
not gonna be.
But I think it'll be good. And then thanks to Martino and Jordan who joined us.
Yeah, I'm glad they stopped by for a little
yeah.
bit, gave you a little bit of insight
Yeah.
from two different worlds of
Yeah.
what they're seeing.
Yeah, you got some. We got pitchy on Alkaline 77, which I don't understand. I'd have to ask him about it because I don't understand the whole thing. But
That's
tastes good.
okay.
But it tastes good.
Tastes good. If it's
And
better
then,
for me, I'm okay with
yeah,
that too.
Yeah. And then, yeah.
That's it, man.
We're
I
glad
gotta
you
go
guys
back to the
joined
booth.
us.
I got to help Spencer out. That
Yeah.
poor guy, I haven't helped him all
Poor
weekend,
guy.
so I better help him out sooner
Poor
or
guy.
later.
All right.
Nobody want to work with
Okay,
me anywhere.
we're gonna end
Otherwise.
here. You guys we hope you guys had a nice weekend.
Hope you guys had a good weekend, and if you are listening from the CHFA event, I hope you
Yeah.
had a great show. Make sure their crew knows what they can do better, and what you actually really enjoyed.
Yeah.
Like to see them do again.
Yeah.
And thanks to Aaron and his team, like seriously, for
Yeah,
allowing us to
seriously.
do this. And
Yeah.
wow, good show. I'm really happy. I'm happy we're all back. Oh
Yeah.
my God, I'm so happy we're all back.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Awesome.
that's it, my friend.
Okay. That's it.
Ciao, ciao.